Hi guys, I haven't done any devblog videos for a while, but this time I decided to do an exception because the whole devblog is from Dondi himself and nobody else. That's why I decided to talk about it, a little bit talk about it. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the devblog, and the most important thing is the devs are aware of the hacker problem, and you can read it from this devlog when Dondi says that artists have sat with some pretty rough bugs and imbalances and cheaters. Yeah, there's a lot of videos about the cheaters and even some videos saying that the isle is unplayable because of the cheaters. There's huge cheater groups that dominate the servers and make playing impossible for other players that should be testing the game. And if you are getting killed all the time by the cheaters, you can't really test the game, can you? So it is great to see that they're trying their best to, get on top of the situation and get off the cheaters. They're doing a lot of changes to the eldering and growth and mutations. Some animals from the roster will have their growth curves move to a less linear style, and that is mostly for the small animals, which should help, for example, Hupsi or Trudon to reach their prime elder, which is near impossible at the moment. One of the most interesting parts was the mutation adjustments. Some mutations no longer are inheritable. Cannibalism will temporarily have no requirement to unlock, so that's gonna change the Hortus to a very bloodthirsty arena. Everybody is going for the cannibalism mutation, even though you lose the dinos when the test is over. But maybe that is to help population control among the Rexes. I at least hope so, because it has been just Rexes, mostly Rexes all over the place, and a big part of the server population is usually cheaters, so it makes kind of impossible to do anything about that. Maybe now we can do something if we can get the cannibalism mutation way easier. One of the biggest things is also that speed is no longer increased by any mutation. So long to photosynthetic tissue, nocturnal, etc. You can use those to boost your speed, which is interesting. Why did they even add them like before? It did cause some problems, and I think speed mutations shouldn't be a thing at all. So that's good that they're getting rid of that. And there's 2 new mutations that allows players additional opportunities for nesting. Sequential hermaphroditism, or however you pronounce that. It's a non-inheritable mutation that allows a player to change to opposite sex. I don't know why would you use that unless you wanna nest with somebody and they happen to be the opposite sex. I don't know. I don't see that much of a use of that mutation. But the second mutation is parthenogenesis. That is also a non-inheritable mutation that allows a player to nest and lay eggs alone. That's a big thing for solo players, because there is a lot of people who wanna nest, but they just can't find a mate, or they just if they find a mate dies or something like that. So it's gonna be way easier for solo players to nest now. Also, very good change, the Tyrannosaurus has upcoming changes to its crush ability, so it's just can't, punch upward and pin massive targets, which was a very big problem. It actually caused serious unbalance to the game. The Rex was dominating everywhere. As soon as it hit like Super Adult, there was no way anything could fight it because of the insta pin. So that's gonna help herbivores to, you know, have a fighting chance against the Rex. They're also gonna add paleo calls. Those are always interesting, but in my opinion, not really usable. But it's a cool thing that they're adding. Very cool. And they're still working on Pteranodon Flight, which is very good because it needs a lot of room for improvement, as it is still horrible to play as a Terra, especially the new Camara. And also I noticed that the days of free aerial harassment are over, which is nice actually. They're encouraging Terra players to get onto the ground and hunt their prey on the ground rather than from air. And now Pteranodon can only attack heavier players on the ground while they are hovering in airbrake, or they will knock themselves out of the sky. So you can't just swoop in anymore and just keep, you know, pecking or swooping and pecking. Now you have to have a little bit more skill in it. And Allosaurus is getting ready for Hortest as well. It has received few more updates and it is getting really close. And then we have a roster of the upcoming playables, which are Rex first, then Allosaurus, Austroraptor, Kentrosaurus, Baryonyx, Oviraptor, Camarasaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, Parasaurolophus, and last but not least, Spinosaurus. And with Camara, they're gonna add trampling mechanic, which is really gonna change the game. So they're getting really close on getting on top of the cheater situation, and they're working on really hard to make the flying more fluent, better, because they're gonna add the Quetzalcoatlus. And one interesting part is also that the gods have encountered some loading issues in the latest engine update. So they have stashed these environments so they won't be lost in the future, and they're building a shell around many of these locations so they can go to the game ASAP. Shell, does it mean like a invisible wall like with port? I remember that was really annoying. But apparently there's gonna be a large increase of human structures on the island. When? I don't know. They're not saying, but hopefully soon. There's gonna be a bunch of different kind of buildings, emergency shelters, medical buildings, and armories, etc. And also Babeseed Java. I really wanna try that. Sounds delish. I almost forgot in the beginning there is a Tapwings concept art of Hypsi's new community nesting, which is gonna be also interesting when it gets implemented to the game. And hopefully we get to see way more Hypsis and Hypsi nesting in the near future. And as per usual, there's a bunch of nice animations in the end of the devblog. And also Brachiosaurus adult elder models and dibble skull, maybe for crafting or trophy. Anyways, but this was the Dondi's devblog. What do you guys think about it? What was the most exciting thing? I think for me it is definitely the changes to mutations and eldering, and also that the Rex's cross is gonna get adjusted so it's a little bit more fair. Tell me in the comment section which part was your favorite. This is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, that helps a lot. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, it is completely free. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one, and moi moi!